And we are back. It is Friday, March 1st, Crypto Controller, where we get to end the week playing video games and talking crypto. I am joined once again by my friend and fellow colleague Lee, one of the journalists here at CoinDesk. How are you, Lee?
I'm doing really good because I just beat you.
No, you didn't. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen
As
on
they
camera,
say,
but it happened.
no footage, no proof, no, it didn't happen. We've changed games again. Oh no, it actually does say you won right there on the screen. It does. So we're playing Tekken 7 because Lee messaged me on Slack earlier this week and said, "Can we play a fighting game?" And I'm trying to convince Lee to be my official co-host going forward. So I will do whatever Lee says if it means she'll join me on a regular basis.
I want to point out that I have not played video games since like I was a very, very, very tiny child, like pre-bra wearing child. So the fact that I beat you and I'm going to do it again is just a very big statement of my skills and my quick learning ability. I'm excited. We're gonna do
Wow,
it.
you are you're confident.
I am.
One win and suddenly you're going to beat me every time, huh?
Yes.
All right. So like I said, we are playing Tekken 7. I think the last time I played Tekken, it was Tekken 2.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure it was a long time ago too.
I will randomly change characters because I'm going to be desperate to find someone who I can actually win with, whereas Lee is going to probably stick with Alyssa the entire time because she'll beat me every time.
Yes.
And on that note, let's jump into our first game. Who should I play as? Oh, I'm going to play as that person. Don't know who it is.
No, I have no idea.
Neither do I. We'll do a random selection of a map. Jungle Outpost 2.
Yeah.
And you know, this game is still built on an old engine when you have to use the D-pad to do things and not the joystick.
Ah, you learn something new every day.
So anyway, why don't we jump right into the crypto stuff?
Yeah.
You want to talk Coinbase? You want to talk Argentina? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Coinbase first, and then we'll uplift me with Argentina afterwards.
Argentina, the uplifting story.
Yeah.
So Coinbase, they are in a bit of they're dealing with a bit of a PR problem right now, or maybe more of a moral problem right now.
Yeah, that's definitely that's one way to interpret it. Definitely. So they acquired this blockchain analytics company called Neutrino.
Yep.
And Neutrino, the founders of it, they have this history of working with something called Hacking Team, which has been noticed by Reporters Without Borders, the UN, all kinds of international organizations as being a danger to human rights. They helped all kinds of governments find dissidents, protesters, lawyers who were taking on controversial cases, spy on them, and then eventually arrest them. So these guys, actually, the Italian government identified this company, Hacking Team, as a threat to human rights and controlled them from being able to export their technology. So this is clearly a company that had some ethical issues.
Just a few?
Yeah, just a few. The executives are the same exact executives of Neutrino, and in fact, still we're promoting, for example, demystifying the blockchain, maybe with kind of language that cypherpunks would not appreciate.
I'm so bad at this game.
I am so victorious. I feel like
oh my goodness, I need to find a faster character. That's it.
What? No. Okay. So just throwing it out there, it's because I'm excellent.
Oh man, this is going to be the longest 1 hour of my entire... You know, I'm just going to play as a female character as well.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I'm just going to play as a female character.
I'm going to tell you my trick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Push all the buttons at once.
Oh, okay.
That's
so
how it...
all like this?
Yes.
That's what you're doing?
Always the buttons.
All right, fair enough. All right, so let's go back. The executive team of Neutrino was originally at a team called Hacking Team?
Yeah, the Hacking Team. They originally had a company called the Hacking Team. And this was not a long time ago. I mean, as recent as like 2017, there were some issues. That was actually the team that was involved with, I don't know if you remember, there was a journalist, a Saudi journalist who was murdered in I believe it was
the Washington Post.
Yeah, exactly. So this same technology was used to help find him. So very, very bad, very recent issues, and Coinbase acquired the company. And so far, the company, like the executives themselves that have this history.
I literally can't even get a hit in. You just keep beating me.
I do.
Oh, now we're throwing out random. All right.
So, obviously, a lot of cypherpunks were not happy with this take. with this acquisition, Coinbase has been very adamant that the reason they acquired this company was to help them add more diverse crypto assets more quickly. They want to be able to analyze blockchain data and figure out.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So this trade-off of more tokens for perhaps more questionable ethics in terms of the privacy and how people distribute data has been a problem for a lot of,
We're not actually going to be able to talk about crypto because Lee is so excited she's beating me that literally we're not going to talk about anything but this. We're going to rematch because I like this character.
Awesome. By the way, if anyone's watching and you have questions about crypto in general.
Wolfpack EOS goes, haha, you guys are finally on Twitch. Accepting bits yet? No, we're not accepting bits yet. Need to get a few more follows before we can start accepting bits.
But if you follow us, then we can accept them, so you should do it.
But that is the problem with bits is, all right, use a different button other than that one button.
It's all the buttons at once. This is the key strategy that no one tells you in video games.
I don't know what just happened.
I don't know either, honestly. I'm just kind of like, wow. So, yeah, a lot of people are deleting their Coinbase accounts and tweeting with the hashtag delete Coinbase because they're upset about this acquisition.
Right, but they're I'm gonna go back to the Neutrino thing in a second. So I want to really dive much deeper into that. But so the way that they're deleting their Coinbase is you can't actually delete a Coinbase account if you have any crypto whatsoever in one of your wallets, right?
Yeah.
And basically, so what's going on is people might have what's known as dust, which are very tiny amounts of Bitcoin.
Yes.
And so what they're doing is there's this new thing going around where people are transferring their dust from wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet.
Yeah.
To accumulate enough Bitcoin so that they can then withdraw. Is that the gist of what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. So they're working together to try and get that dust like swept into a big broom bin, so that one at a time they can delete their accounts. And this is really a problem. And if just in terms of user experience, you want to be able to delete your account, you have to cooperate with people externally.
Oh, what's that?
Okay.
What's that? What's that?
I'm just putting it out there. I won the previous one.
Now, what this truly shows is that women are far better characters than male characters.
Yes.
I won.
Yes, you did.
And I totally screwed up.
All right, hold on. Rematch. Boom. Take care of that.
See, Wolfpack EOS, we would love to play DAP games while on Twitch, but I don't think we can because I don't think there are any
DAP games?
DAP games.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like gambling games? I can't play gambling games. CoinDesk is based in New York. All that stuff is blocked.
Yeah. Also, I like the punching. So I think the fact that users around the world are cooperating together to be able to delete their Coinbase accounts is really interesting, and it shows how the community is willing to vote with their feet.
Right, but you made an important point in your article, which states that, I'm going to win now. Now that I know how to do these moves.
I told
And besides, look at me. I'm wearing 4-inch heels. Those things hurt.
They do hurt.
Like I would not want to get kicked by 4-inch heels. I'm just going to say that right now.
No! Get back up! You can do it!
Yep.
No, I'm dead.
All right. Doesn't Coinmetrics also track blockchain data and recently sold to Fidelity? This acquisition was lauded by CoinDesk, while Coinbase acquisition was frowned upon. To be clear, Coinmetrics raised money from Fidelity. They raised 1.8 million or 1.6 million.
Yeah, and with multiple investors in that round, not only from Fidelity.
Right. It wasn't just Fidelity. And specifically, the issue with this particular takeover is not, or this particular deal is not whether or not any sort of tracking is good or bad.
Yeah.
The issue, different people have different opinions about that. The issue has to do with the fact that the executive team of Neutrino was also the team behind the hacking team, which definitively supported, or is reported to have supported, that's a mouthful.
I mean, they definitely worked with these governments. They did not personally go out and kidnap and kill any journalists,
right,
but they definitely gave over the information that did that, that's for sure. I mean, the Italian government came down on them and was like, you can't export your technology anymore without direct permission from us because we see you as a threat to human rights.
Right.
Your government doesn't necessarily do that to you as a startup unless you've got some real issues.
Right, so basically, their technology helped the Saudi Arabian government kidnap the Washington Post columnist.
It helped surveil dissidents, and with that information, then enforcement groups can go and, for example, kidnap a journalist. Also, to this person's point, Coinbase has invested in similar companies, such as Flipside Crypto.
Yep.
So theoretically, if they had wanted to acquire a company without that kind of reputational risk, they already had a company they were investing in like that. And there are many other companies. I would consider right now to be like a boon of blockchain analytics. I talk to more and more companies every single week that are focusing on this issue. So there was no shortage of companies Coinbase could have acquired that would have done the same thing. When I was speaking with Coinbase about this acquisition, something they kept impressing on me over and over again was that this team moves fast and they want to add assets fast. This was what attracted to them, this team. It had nothing to do with them having there not being other options available.
Right.
It's that this team would help them move fast to add more diverse assets, like XRP that just got added this week. And that is Coinbase's mission. They want to add more assets.
So go down. You want to change characters or keep playing this character?
I want to play with this character forever.
Okay. I don't know what we just did, but
I don't know either.
All right. So yeah. So that's the big switch. I guess we're gonna do the exact same match again. I'm gonna beat you again now that I'm figured out how to kick and I'm wearing 4-inch pumps. So Coinbase had I guess it was maybe I don't know if it was like 6 months ago or a year where they had a change to their strategy, where they decided they were going to start really getting very aggressive with the number of assets they were listing. They added.
Wow! I died so fast.
Yeah, it's all right.
This pushing all the buttons at one strategy is failing me.
So yeah, Coinbase changed their strategy, and they have started very aggressively adding many more assets. I think what might have happened is they saw what was going on with with Binance and these other exchanges that were printing money, and Coinbase is a business. They want to make some money, so they started to really get aggressive with adding their assets. But I mean, like you said, there are plenty of other analytics companies out there.
Yes.
Was it that Neutrino? You said that it's because they move fast?
Yes.
Their analytics is superior? Like, I'm trying to understand, like, Coinbase is not a dumb company. Why?
No. So, I mean, you might have noticed in all of the reporting on this acquisition, none of us have been able to talk to the Neutrino teams themselves. So it was very clear from the get-go that there was an awareness that there could be some controversy here.
Okay.
So you haven't seen any since. Clearly, that's still the situation in terms of who's speaking about the acquisition and why. They were aware. They did tell me that there were some unique aspects of Neutrino's technology that were attractive to them, but they didn't specify what. What they did specify was the speed at which they were able to analyze new blockchains. So new tokens that'll come up. Neutrino was really fast at being able to get data out of that.
Let's see. Aren't fast movements beneficial for the crypto ecosystem then? Mainstream adoption. Couldn't this acquisition also change the nature of Neutrino's practices? So I guess I
think if they were to let go of the specific people who have been identified as an issue, then the company as a whole could use that technology in a different way. I don't think anyone is saying Neutrino itself was not the people involved with these human rights abuses, right? But the specific people who were very outspoken about why they were doing it, and it's because they believe in the rule of law and are very against vigilantes or dissidents or some of the concepts that I think a lot of cypherpunks hold very dear. So could people's behavior change when they've been publicly shamed and cost their company a lot of money? Sure, it could change, but I don't think that is relevant as much as what we're seeing from the community in terms of reaction, in terms of being able to vote with your feet and cooperating together to get around some of these support issues. I mean, we're seeing the community really mobilize over an ethical issue, and I think that's inspiring in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and again, to be clear, the issue here is not whether or not the technology that Neutrino has is good or bad. Yeah. Like there are certainly a lot of cyberpunks who agree that that the analytics companies are not good, that that we don't want traceability and things like that. And that's been going on for years. I mean, the argument's been going on for a long time. There are many other analytics companies that allow for this traceability. The fundamental issue here has to do with the executive team at Neutrino. The CEO, the CTO,
CRO, who's basically a co-founder.
Yeah, those three were also executives at the hacking team, which is was the company that created technology for these
for these governments.
Yeah,
for these governments.
So that's the real issue here, HackerMind. It's not whether or not the technology is good or bad. It's not whether or not the technology will help with mainstream adoption. Like those things could be true, and we can continue to debate that with you if you'd like to. If you want to keep replying back to us, the issue and the reason that people are so passionate about this particular situation is because the executive teams are the same. And when your startup is by the Italian government or by any major government called I don't know the exact phrase they used, but effectively saying it's not really a good thing what you're doing. Maybe Coinbase should have really thought about that before buying this technology.
They clearly did think about it. So I guess I'll be very curious to see what happens next. I don't think that this is going to be the last that we hear from Coinbase. I'm sure that they're going to have some kind of reaction. You don't have this kind of pushback from your user base without responding to it in some way.
Right.
The fact that they've waited so long, I think, is very interesting.
Yeah.
And so that says to me, actually, that there could be even a more dramatic correction than maybe I might have expected. I'll be very curious to see next week, over the next few following weeks, what it is that Coinbase does now that it's clear how the community will react to that kind of acquisition.
Sure. So do you want to play the same character or try someone different?
Always the same character.
All right, go down. I want to try someone different. Go down to character select. Yeah, I'm going to try someone different.
I appreciate that, because this one is kicking my butt.
Yes. Let me go down to character select and then then go over to yes.
Ah. There we go.
So let's see. I'm going to not do that. I'm going to try playing as a panda bear.
Yes! That sounds fun.
And we'll do hit A. All right.
So, do we have any more questions there? Or just
no, nothing yet.
So, aside from Coinbase, is there any other question you had about Coinbase? I feel like we understand the situation pretty clearly.
Yeah, we definitely understand what's going on. I think I'm curious to see how Coinbase comes back from this and what they're going to say. Look, they might very well take the stance. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I mean, that's what they've said so far. Right? Like people have asked for a statement, and their statement was, "We were aware, and we saw this as a business opportunity." Basically.
Okay. So they knew that this was a problem, and they still felt that it was a better decision to just buy it, take the hit, and move on with their lives. Oh, okay. Panda Bear not doing that well.
Hi.
Ooh, get on the
Panda Bear
ground.
did really well. No.
Nope. No.
Okay. Get him. No.
I'd just like to say that a panda wearing a pink hat is probably the greatest thing I've ever seen.
What does this do? Okay. So another story I wrote this week had to do with the crypto industry in Argentina. I feel like that has a little bit more positive news compared to the Coinbase story, and had a lot of insights that I was really fascinated to learn.
So Argentina, as far as I understand it, is actually one of the early regions that people talked about from an adoption perspective, primarily because, I'm going to butcher his name, Wences from Zappo. I can't remember his last name. He is, I believe, Argentinian. Has gone through multiple situations where the Argentinian peso has gone through massive hyperinflation. Saw what that was like. Like literally, the inflation would get so bad that he would go to the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread, and the price would change while he was standing in the aisle.
So 2018, I believe, Argentina experienced at 1.48% inflation. That's
wild.
insane. And they've actually been experiencing really high inflation for the last century. They've had all kinds of economic crises. So just about every Argentinian family is very familiar with the concept of needing to store your assets in something that's not the peso.
Yes.
And they're very familiar with the idea of wanting to have assets also that the government can't seize. So during some of these financial crises, Argentinian banks would just, it was called the corralito, you just can't take your money out. They just be like, okay, well, no one can take their money out in order to prevent a bank run, basically, and to help bail out the government. Ow! I died. Oh
my. Okay, let's get back to business, where the panda bear fights the woman with the chainsaw arms.
But I can't find them again because I only get it by pushing all the buttons at once.
So you know what's funny is this game is a very technical game apparently.
Yeah.
Stephanie, who works on the business side on the events team, when I told her that I picked up Tekken to play,
dancing in a very
Panda.
Conceited way.
When I told her that we had gotten Tekken, she goes, "You got the most technical fighting game ever," and I said, "Yeah, but neither of us have ever played it, so it's not a problem."
Yeah.
What I'm realizing is we have no time to do anything technical because we're both just button mashing so hard that we're doing one type of attack the entire time.
That's pretty much what we're doing. This is the situation.
All right, so actually, let's see. We'll jump into the Argentina story in a second, but Lost at Sea wants to know if we could ask Roger Ver, how does he plan to respond to Litecoin adopting privacy? I'm not sure the context of that. But anyway.
I've actually never spoken to Roger Ver. I've emailed with him once and spoken with his coworkers and colleagues. Definitely would not, I am not on a,
I'm not sure if he'd have an opinion.
Yeah, on Litecoin in general. He's a really interesting character, that's for sure. Definitely a very passionate man.
Mm-hmm. He is definitely a very passionate man. Oh, okay, I'm playing as a panda again.
Aha.
So, all right, let's go back to Argentina, a country which has experienced hyperinflation for, like you said, a century.
Yeah.
Where it's been very hard to withdraw money from the banks.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with Bitcoin?
So there's definitely very slow, but steady adoption in Argentina. And I think one of the most fascinating things that I learned while writing this article is some of the research that they're doing. I did like an extra little one in there. With users, for example, in Barrio 31, which is one of the biggest slums in Buenos Aires, is that people would change their habits as they learned. So in the beginning, they would want to cash out of their Bitcoin right away, because they didn't trust it. But then as they got to use it more and more and they learned about it, then they started wanting to save it and get rid of their pesos right away.
So they would go as hard as they could to get from peso to Bitcoin, so the hyper-Bitcoinization of that country.
Yeah, and I mean, this is definitely slow. There's 1,000 users that have downloaded the wallet that did this study.
What's the wallet?
Moon Wallet, M-U-U-N.
Very creative name.
Yep. I won, I think. Oh, yeah, it was definitely me.
Yes, you won. All right, so 1,000 people who downloaded this wallet.
So that's still small, you know. We're not talking about the entire nation suddenly switching over to Bitcoin, but we are talking about groups of people that are using Bitcoin and slow but steady demand increasing. Mm-hmm. You had mentioned that one of the co-founders of Zappo came from Argentina.
Yep.
MakerDAO, for example, has staff there. There's just like so many companies that when I was researching for this article, I ended up finding out were Argentinian that had founded these companies that are based in Canada, are based in San Francisco, all over the world. So the last time there was a .com boom, Argentina wasn't as technologically advanced and politically stable as it is right now. So right now there's this like unique situation in which they've got the talent, they've got the education, they have the drive, right? Like you have an entire population of people that want stateless money.
Yep.
And so you see them gathering resources from all over the world and also exporting their products and their services all over the world. It's much easier to start a business in Buenos Aires than it is in Caracas, right, in Venezuela.
Wow.
That was quick.
That really hurts. All right.
Oh no. I'm gonna die, and then I'll be dead. Oh, that was really powerful. So yeah, I think Argentina has a lot of lessons to be learned. And also something that I found that a lot of the startups that I was talking to, they're raising very modest amounts, you know, a few $100,000. But they can do a lot more with that in Argentina than you can in San Francisco, for example.
Well, sure. I mean, an apartment in San Francisco costs like $6,000. So like, there's no way that you can afford that there, but in Argentina, I'm sure it's much cheaper.
So when you think about the global crypto ecosystem, there's no reason that a lot of companies need to be in San Francisco if you're not raising from VC funds. If you're raising directly from your users who are paying you in Bitcoin, then you could go anywhere. And it's a thought about, you know, sustainability. Like if you're going to have this slow, steady growth, that's a business model that seems to be working for some of those startups. So
I want to go back to what you said before, where the originally when Bitcoin started to really take or show some interest, or if people started to express interest in Bitcoin in Argentina, they would immediately sell their Bitcoin.
Some of the less educated people, yeah, who are experimenting with it.
And then so over time they started to realize that, wait a second, the problem here isn't Bitcoin, the problem here is the peso. Mm-hmm. So instead, let's get into Bitcoin. So people started wanting to hold it. Mm. Now, is there an increasing number of merchants that are accepting Bitcoin in Argentina?
So that's slow but steady. And so one of the really cool things also from the same study by Moon that I learned about merchants is like one of the ways that they're dealing with the volatility and the liquidity issues, for example, is that if you pay in crypto, there's a slight markup on the product.
Like markup?
Markup, as in it's a little bit more expensive in Bitcoin than it would be in pesos.
Okay.
But that helps the merchant to be able to deal with any kind of volatility. If if he has difficulty getting out cash right away, he's accommodating for that extra work he's going to have to do on his end in the price, and that makes it worthwhile for him as a merchant. And because like right now, one of the big issues with merchant adoption is just like it's a hassle, right?
Yeah.
But if you get more money for it.
Yeah, if you get more money for it, it's obviously a win for them. They're going to want to do it, and then if you create that system where more people are accepting it, yeah, it all becomes a net positive over the long haul. Oh, you've got the freaking no.
I can't find them again though. I had to do it by getting all the buttons at once.
All right. You literally just
Ha!
Yep.
I chainsawed you to death.
Yep. Oh God, I'm gonna lose again. I just feel
So we have some insights about users. As they learn more, they feel more comfortable with different kinds of transactions, such as storage or larger transactions. We learned about merchants. They feel more comfortable with that slight markup to accommodate for their work.
This is an unacceptable day.
I'm just so happy that I can win.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so you were saying this game, I don't know if we're going to be able to play Tekken anymore because our conversations are so disjointed because we're both so aggressively trying to win. And now that we're fighting each other rather than supporting each other.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm dead. So,
tell me more about Argentina. I want to talk more about that.
You had asked about also custody. So Argentinian banks and governments and other institutions are moving much quicker toward settling in Bitcoin and doing remittance in Bitcoin than, for example, American institutions, because they have that need, right? Because in Latin America, inflation is a well-known issue. And so they're accommodating for that just by being open to trying this new technology. Granted, there was one big transaction between Paraguay and Argentina, and since then it's been a bit quiet. So it's not as if, again, everyone in the government is all on board the Bitcoin train, but they're certainly open to the idea. As a matter of fact, the government of Argentina has a study group, like a focus group, specifically for crypto, in which local startups and exchanges come and talk directly to policymakers.
Okay.
And that was at the behest of the government, right? Over here, we have the issue of we're begging regulators, oh please, we need clarity. Over there, they're like, look, we've been messing up the economy for a century. Please tell us, how is this a tool that we could use?
Talateri says that the gamers are bad.
I agree, except for only when I win.
No, even when you lose. No, we're horrible. This is the first time that you've been on the show. You've seen the show, Talateri. We do not, in any respect, think that we're good. We do not think we're good at all. I mean, Lee's good.
I'm only good when I press all the buttons at once.
My goodness, this is just
great strategy.
This is just not. This is.
We can do. Oh no! I'm dead. No.
So apparently this is the strategy.
Yes, this is the strategy.
Just throw the same move over and over and over again.
Yes, this is exactly your strategy, and it's a good one.
Boom. Okay, that works. All right.
Ow.
So the government's becoming is friendlier in Argentina, is what you're saying.
They're trying to be. That's for sure.
Why?
Because they've had 100 years of terrible economic policies, and it's not as if the government is entirely insulated from that, right? They needed to be bailed out by other countries. They've called in, Stephen Hanke, who's an American professor of economics, being like, please fix our government in the 80s. It was a very good game.
Gotcha.
Look at how cocky he is. He's like, oh, I won.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we have another question.
Yeah.
Up key.
Yeah.
First off, Talateri says we should push the up key.
Which one is the up
Well,
key?
right now, let's get to the okay. We'll rematch. So
I'm sorry.
we're now both going to hit the up key.
What is the up key?
This one. Just push up on the D-pad.
Oh.
So now we're going to try new moves.
Okay, we're going to try new moves.
All right. Do we really have to do this? I mean, you don't have to.
Okay, so if we press the up key, what happens?
Ooh. This is preposterous. All right, and then we're back to button mashing.
No, but if I push the up key while I do that, I can jump. Whoa.
This is really not good.
Okay, so if I jump, and I do that, oh, I'm spinning.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like this. All right, I was having an artistic experience.
All right, try
here.
again.
Okay, hold on.
Let's keep backing away because you're gonna try to hit me.
I know. I'm trying to push.
Oh, we only have 25 seconds.
Ah! No! No!
No, this is you in the same move.
But then I still died. It was really, I really like that up key move. What other ones do you have for me?
What other tips you have for us?
Yeah, tell me. Up, up, up. There you go. That's the up key. How do I do that? Oh. I want to get to that spin again. Oh, that was a different move. Okay, and If I press them all at once, okay, that's a little bit better with the spinning.
Up, left, cross key kick.
Up, left, cross key kick.
Up, E,
Ah!
Oh!
I'm not sure if I'm improving, but I'm definitely enjoying the variety.
So bad at this game. Oh!
My gosh.
Okay.
I will always press the up key now.
Oh! Double KO!
Oh. I think we just like both no, you knocked me out. How did that work? When I was just chainsawing you to the face.
Well, you know, sometimes it happens, you know, when you get to greatness. Greatness. Well, we're gonna come back to Argentina.
Okay.
But first, we're halfway through our show. I cannot believe how fast these hours go.
Yeah.
Like, they go by so fast. We're going to jump into our next segment called This Week in Bitstery.
Yep.
Where we look at an event that took place this week in history.
Okay. I'm excited. What happened?
I don't know. Let me grab this here.
This is really fun because I'm such like a noob and I still am learning a lot of Bitcoin history. And so it's like every time this happens, it's something I never heard about before.
Every single time I do this, I feel like I'm on New York One.
Oh.
Oh, it's an old CoinDesk story.
Okay.
From February 27th, 2015.
I was definitely not in the crypto space. Was
I in the crypto space? I was. I had just gotten into it. No. I wasn't. I don't know if when I got in.
I had just first heard about Bitcoin, but I wasn't working in it in any way.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to the early days of Bitcoin, according to a Russian lawmaker, Bitcoin is a CIA conspiracy.
I think this Russian lawmaker must have talked to my mother. My mother is convinced that it's a Russian conspiracy.
It is a Russian conspiracy or a Bitcoin conspiracy or...
Somebody's doing conspiracy.
My money's on the Israelis, actually.
The Israelis have the Bitcoin conspiracy?
Have you ever heard this story? So we're going to jump into the different Satoshi Nakamoto narratives. I'm going to tell you one of my favorites.
Okay.
So anyway, a lawmaker from the Liberal Democratic Party of Russia says that Bitcoin is a plot by the U.S. to undermine Russia's efforts internationally. He said all these cryptocurrencies were created by U.S. intelligence agencies just to finance terrorism and revolutions.
Ah.
This was actually back when...
we do that just fine with the dollar, guys.
Yeah, really. We finance plenty of terrorists with that. Let's see. Is there anything else in here that's worth saying? This is back when our editor-in-chief, Pete Rizzo, was just a lowly journalist, hard at work, telling the hard stories. Yeah, it's crazy how far we've come since those early times when, people were convinced that Bitcoin was only used for terrorists.
People are still convinced of that, and it never ceases to drive me insane.
Well, you wrote a story a couple weeks ago about, was it you? Maybe it was you, maybe it wasn't you, about Hamas.
It was me.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So I want to preface this with saying that 2015, 2014, 2013, 2012, even a little bit 2011, I was not strictly, but often working on research and on stories that related to how terrorists recruit online, how their digital networks work and help them coordinate. This was my beat, right? Bitcoin was definitely not a thing for them at the time. By the time that I left that beat in 2016, it was still not a thing. And yes, Hamas allegedly used a Coinbase account as identified by the Israeli blockchain analytics firm Whitestream to raise a few $1,000s in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. That is a ridiculously small amount of money. They could have made more money with a bake sale in Gaza City. And I'm just not concerned about Bitcoin as a tool for terrorists because they will eventually have to cash that out. We're not talking about areas of the world with a high level of financial access and in a strong, independent internet structure. Remember that Gaza is under blockade from the state of Israel, and that a lot of times their electricity actually comes from Israel. Their banks all rely on foreign banks. They do not have a local currency. So the idea that them raising a few $1,000s in Bitcoin would be the source of great fear is just, it's not a thing, guys. Because in the end of the day, all it's doing is helping those governments that are trying to come down on them locate them.
Right. So I remember when years ago, I interviewed one of the FBI agents who arrested Ross Ulbricht, who was the founder of Silk Road. And one of the things he had said was that FBI agents actually really love Bitcoin because the ledger is literally auditable back to the beginning of time. So what he said was that so long as his detective work was good, at some point people would make a mistake.
Yes.
They'd leave a private key somewhere.
Yes.
They'd leave a wallet somewhere. And that was enough for them to find out who it was. Mm-hmm. So that governments actually, or at least law enforcement, actually likes Bitcoin. According to Kilmon Grob, you are clueless, lady. They don't need to cash it out. I don't think you're clueless.
Fair. Okay. So if your argument is that they can purchase things directly with the Bitcoin, that's fabulous. They could theoretically get it through a tunnel, that comes, for example, under Egypt. So ISIS, for example, has been raising money with Bitcoin far before Hamas was. And when I asked a former member of the Israeli intelligence whose job it was to locate these people for the Israeli government to go kill them, why it was that Hamas wasn't doing this if ISIS was doing it. He told me because we found them. He's like, because I'm showing this to you right now. We're aware of it. And for example, groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon are much more careful about the kinds of digital transactions they do online because, as you pointed out, it just takes one person to mess up.
So then are terrorist organizations using it to some extent then?
Very small amounts. I mean, I would say that the barrios of Argentina have a more upward trajectory when it comes to Bitcoin than, at least based on what I've been seeing, and I do spend a lot of time talking with sources all over the world about this. I feel like, in addition to the fact that it's traceable, let's get with the fact that Israel has actually been preparing for Bitcoin as a weapon of cyber warfare since before 2015. Okay, so right. Before that article came out, Israel was already on it. When you go today, and not only Israel, right? Like the U.S. government, the governments, the militaries that are charged with finding these guys who are using it have been training and developing their systems to do that for years, and only now are these terrorists starting to get a basic grip on what they think. The guy went on Hamas TV and said, "Don't worry, no one can trace this." I mean, they don't understand how it works. So I'm just not concerned about the rare bad apple who might, give them a few dollars on Coinbase when really a lot of people in Gaza use it every day for international transactions, that lawful transactions, ethical transactions that they would otherwise be restricted from using.
Right. And this again goes back to the very simple fact that Bitcoin or any of these systems are very much traceable.
Yes.
Whereas the US dollar fundamentally is not.
So when I was interviewing someone in Gaza, this again was a few months ago, he had said, what was it, up to, gosh, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 50 families a month. So, and I just remember that when I did the calculation, it's in the article, like the amount that Hamas has raised would be dwarfed by the amount that even like small retail users have used in terms of remittances. And this is an area of the world which is very, very impoverished.
Yeah.
So the idea that the government, Hamas is a governing body, is unable to raise the same amount that its people are transacting with on small values, I'm just not concerned about it. To the contrary, I'm very excited about the idea of Palestinians having more access to stateless money since they are under the economic occupation through the Israeli shekel.
Right.
Ha! I'm gonna kick some butt. I'm gonna kick some butt.
All right, we're gonna see. I'm playing as an old person now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that if ever I decide to shave my head, I'm going to have this haircut.
Okay, what is this haircut? I'm excited to see it. Does our friend have any more questions?
No, I don't think so.
It's cool.
Let's see. Oh, so Lost at Sea 334 a while ago said that, explain the ETH fork.
No.
No. I will.
Please, take it away.
I will make an attempt at this. I'm going to assume what you mean is the recent upgrade to Constantinople. And effectively, in the very simplest way, and maybe next week we'll have Christine on, who has been doing amazing work on covering Constantinople. And we'll talk to Christine about this. The way that a fork effectively works is the rules change, right? The rules defined by the code, and then I beat you. They change. And, oh, you're on the round still. It's not over yet. And I'm going to lose. All right. The rules change, and everyone has to upgrade their software.
Yeah.
But what happens is that if everyone doesn't upgrade their software, you effectively have a fork where now you have two protocols that are running simultaneously. And most times, forks go away. You know, everyone upgrades, and, you know, life goes on, and the other chain goes away. Now, what happens is every once in a while that doesn't happen. So a couple of years ago, there was the big Ethereum hard fork that resulted in Ethereum Classic. So the DAO got hacked, which was the big, they had raised a boatload of money, and then it got hacked, and someone had stolen that ETH. So what the Ethereum core devs decided to do was fork Ethereum, go back, you know, get that ETH back. Some disagreed with doing that, and decided to go away. So when the hard fork happened, some stayed with the original chain, as Ethereum Classic likes to say. So forks effectively, what happens is the rules change in some way, and typically you have two chains that diverge. One of those changes dies almost immediately, and the other one goes on. We will have Christine on next week, hopefully, if she's willing to come on and play Tekken with us, and she can talk a lot more about the Ethereum hard fork.
Definitely, you should all read Christine's work on this. It's fascinating, and she's doing a great job of it.
So, Kilman Grob, it's not that whether or not like people are using crypto and Bitcoin to quote unquote arm themselves. The reality is these terrorist organizations just don't have that much crypto. They're not raising it. They're not, you know, they're just not using that much to do that. So it's what it is it's like there's one person who decides to, you know, raise $100 in Bitcoin, for example, and then that becomes the narrative. Oh, Bitcoin's for terrorists, whereas, you know, terrorists might use, you know, millions of US dollars to fund their operations.
Yeah.
So that's really what it is. It's not like, sure, none of us want a terrorist organization to buy weapons, right? Like, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is it's just not, it's not a major story. It's like if someone's like, if I said to you, oh, I'm using my Coke can to buy weapons, are you going to suddenly like outlaw Coke? Like it's
I mean,
just...
granted, that's also my personal opinion. If there are other people with more expertise in the space that have been covering that beat more recently than me, I'd love to hear it. But just so far, the people that have been arguing with me about it have much less experience than me in that particular aspect. So I've just not seen anything that convinces me of that danger compared to the human rights boon that it is to allow borderless transactions.
Right, like, you know, and this is a big, it's a very big argument that I think that, you know, we should, I imagine over the next few months we'll continue to lean into, but is Is the ability to transact a human right?
I think so.
I had never really heard it said that way, but and like I said, I think that especially here at CoinDesk, we're going to lean in on that topic a lot more. But yeah, I think that it's very interesting. And what happens when you are a region like Palestine and you are under the economic, control of
another entity that doesn't care about your well-being as much?
Right, that you are stuck within their economic whims. If you have a currency that is not defined by any geopolitical entity, then suddenly you've got freedom.
Yeah. So, for example, Palestinian startups have a really hard time raising money.
Of course they do.
They have a really difficult time moving across borders physically because of the blockade, and transacting across borders because all their banks rely on external banks and external payment processors. PayPal doesn't work in Palestinian territories.
Right.
So you really have a lack of options there. And Bitcoin has brought new possibilities. Again, very, very small. I'm not trying to say that every single person in Gaza is using Bitcoin. I'm just saying that when people tell me that Bitcoin is for terrorists, I have to ask them if they even know what terrorists are. Do you understand how they became that way and what part of the population they are? Because they do everything that everyone else does. They drink water. Oh, I like that I have these sortie things out. Yeah, sortie things.
Put them away. Oh! That looks like it hurt.
Was that you or me? I'm very confused about what's happening.
I'm beating you.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, sorry. It happens. Oh, wow, this is my favorite move in the world.
Yeah, this is evidently your move, and I was very confused by it.
Oh, no, unacceptable. Oh, okay.
That's one. Boom. And then boom.
All right, so Kilmon is following up saying he doesn't, or she does not believe that you have the capacity. Is that to quantify the amount of crypto that has transacted through terrorist organizations?
This is true. You're very correct. You're very, very correct. So here's what I say to that. As somebody who covered Middle Eastern politics and especially dealt with cyber networks related to terrorism for several years, am very confident that if it was a bigger problem, I would see a stronger reaction from the bodies that are in charge of curtailing that. And I don't see that reaction right now. So I do not know the full extent of how terrorists are using it. But I can see the reaction of the people who are fighting them, and they seem to be pretty chill. I think that if there was really an existential threat to the state of Israel, or the U.S. government for that matter, we would see much quicker, stronger reactions to we would see a crackdown the likes of which we are not seeing right now. He's very correct, though. We don't know how much terrorists are using it. We don't. So, do we have a tally at the end of how many times I've won?
Yeah, no, we're actually really close, I think. I think that you've won 9 times and I've won 24 times.
No, I believe I've won 11 times. Look at that.
All right, I'm going to play as Lucky Chloe. Kilmongrab, we appreciate you watching the show.
Thank you, yeah.
No one has to agree with us, but... we appreciate you watching and participating and asking questions and
being pushed back is good, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way that you have your ideas sharpened. Iron sharpening iron.
Yeah. No, look, that's at Crypto Controller. This is one of those opportunities for readers of CoinDesk to engage with people at CoinDesk. So
yeah,
we thank you for coming and participating. Subscribe up top. Definitely subscribe up top. Ooh.
This person is like my spirit animal, and I'm going to kill her.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, she bounces. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, get away from me. Come on.
Oh, yeah. See, I slice you.
No.
I slice you dead.
Oh. Why don't I get those,
I don't even know how I got them, to be honest. But I press this up button, and then I jump. Oh no, that was a good move. Her little pigtails are like flying all around. No!
I think your character's just super fast. I'm just gonna go with that.
Entirely possible. But my character's also now super dead.
Noxzilla, we're glad that you think this is super chill and informational.
Yeah.
This is literally, I look forward to this every week.
Nice. I also look forward to beating him every week.
Well, this is the first time that you've beaten me.
Okay, this is also fair. But I can do it again. I bet I can do it again. Just push all the buttons at once. With enough fury.
With enough fury. So, to be clear, Lee, this is a brand new controller. If this controller does not work anymore after this, we know that you have spreads.
Maybe. Oh, you're crouched down. Crouching down. Okay, that's a thing.
Oh.
No. Did I die? I died.
Oh.
I died.
I beat you. Look at those pigtails. Ooh, I wish I had those moves.
Nice.
I do that, I'll like break my hip. Up and left and kick.
Oh, okay.
Up. Wait. Is it up and left at the same time, or is it up, then left, then kick?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna find out because I
kick?
don't know. B.
B, okay.
All right, we're gonna see what happens.
All right.
So up, left, kick. Nope.
Up, left, out. Hold on. Up,
left, then kick.
Up, left, kick.
Up, left,
up,
kick.
left, kick. Up, left, kick. Up, left, kick. Up, left, kick. Up, left, kick.
No. Somehow I'm still losing.
I guess the question is, was that up, left kick for you or for me?
Yeah, probably right.
Did we both just knock each other out? How did that work? Oh no. No.
Oh.
Done. Situation.
Oh, man.
Left kick. Oh, I think he's telling me how to get the blades back. Hold on. Left kick.
This is just unacceptable. That's my favorite move right here. That little like
yeah, that's a really cool
cartwheel move.
It's like the Bitcoin price.
Hey, Bitcoin price is definitely. This was I think it was a story that Sam put out today that February was the first month that ended up in Bitcoin. So
good.
Bottom in. Don't know. Full disclosure, I do own Bitcoin. I am not a financial advisor. I cannot tell you what's going to happen to the price. I have no idea. If I was a trader, I still wouldn't know. But yeah, so apparently this. Wait. Same time. Wait. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. I'm gonna stand up. Nope.
Up, left kick. Up, left kick. Up, left kick.
Wait.
No, okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. You're trying to get the thing. What?
Ooh.
It's like in one move. No.
You're still gonna win.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, I don't know how I did that, guys.
Because
but,
this up left kick
up
thing.
left kick was nice. I'm gonna take that.
Do it.
I'm gonna take that. So yeah, so February was the first month where the price ended higher than where it started the month, which is the first month I think since like the beginning of 2018. So that has some people very excited. I actually want to talk about something else that I saw. It's not a CoinDesk story.
Okay.
But Diar, D-I-A-R, the newsletter.
Yeah.
They're a research arm. They did analysis that showed that the number of wallets that hold between 1 and 10 Bitcoin has been consistently on the rise. And we've reached an all-time high of that in February, which shows, and at the same time, the number of wallets that hold large sums of Bitcoin have reduced.
Yeah.
Which shows almost like not a wealth transfer, we don't want to use that word, but that the crypto wealth has spread out to more people.
Diversification.
So it's been very interesting. to see.
That's actually a trend we've been seeing for a while. So I did an article, gosh, it must have been a few months ago now, with chain analysis data, which basically said the exact same thing, but at a lesser amount. So we've seen every single month, month over month, the amount of diversification of holders continuing to increase despite the market prices going down. Everyone keeps calling this a crypto winter, and I genuinely don't think it is. This is a time period in which we see a lot of users experimenting, learning, and we see a greater diversification of the wealth in this space. I think this is actually a really positive time for adoption.
What do you guys think about the EOS blockchain being way faster than other bigger chains like Bitcoin or ETH and still being underused by the rest of the crypto world?
I think those two things probably coincide, right? It's probably faster because it's underused.
Yeah, I mean, you know, blockchains, I struggle with blockchains and speed because, like, these decentralized systems, you lose certain efficiencies that come with centralization. Centralization is always going to be faster. Yeah. Right. If I only have to do a ping Amazon for something, you know, AWS versus having to talk to 100 different people, it's always going to be, you know, faster to go to Amazon or my bank or whatever. We have seen with EOS, at least the last time I looked, a lot of gambling dApps. They first were on ETH, and now they've moved over to EOS. And I think your point is simply the fact since not a lot of people are using them, that speed exists. But if suddenly a lot of people were to use it, the systems would slow down. Yeah, it happened to Bitcoin. It happened to Ethereum. You know, as more people use these systems, I remember when CryptoKitties came online. Yeah, it shut Ethereum down.
The kitty apocalypse.
Yeah,
it was.
Like it shut them down. And the reality is that all of these systems are still, there's a lot of development to go to really get efficiencies in place where they can work at higher speeds. So we have 5 minutes left.
So we have to play one more game to break our tie, because right now we're tied.
We're tied. Oh, then I'm going, wait.
Too bad.
No, hippie. No, if it's our last match, I want to pick my favorite character.
Okay, who's your favorite character?
Well, I'm going to play as the one I beat you the most as.
Oh no, not that dude. Oh no, it's a girl actually.
It's a girl. I'm going to play as Katarina, who...
Oh, Katarina's good though. Okay, but now maybe I'm going to choose somebody else. I've actually never played as somebody else. What will happen? I don't know. Okay.
You know, Kilmon, it could be that EOS's structure is built for mass design. I don't know. Look, I've not dove deep into EOS's structure or EOS's technology. I just... Every new blockchain that comes out likes to say that they're fast. Yeah. And every single one. And it's fine, but then like there comes a point where they're not fast. Where there's a lot of people on it, and suddenly it slows down. And then another blockchain pops up.
EOS could, I mean, we'll see. EOS could handle that better than other blockchains have.
Sure.
It's totally possible.
But I just don't know.
We just don't know yet. Yeah, it's very early in EOS's lifespan.
Wow, that was interesting.
Right? What's happening between us? I'm like...
There's like a weird like opening cutscene?
Yeah.
All
right, let's see.
Did you change characters?
Yeah. Because you were doing this new character. I don't know how to... Oh no! this is not going to go well for me. Up, down, kick.
Oh God, you found your button again.
Yes. No, down, Liddy.
What is going on?
No idea. Genuinely no idea.
Hey, Kilmon, thanks so much for coming on the show. Like I said, subscribe. We're here every Tuesday and Friday. Lee is a returning guest. We will have other guests. Yeah. We will have CoinDesk guests, non-CoinDesk guests. And we will actually be at Consensus, our biggest events of the year in May here in New York City, where I will be doing Crypto Control the entire time.
What?
And
I didn't know that.
Yes, and attendees of Consensus, some at least, will be able to come on the show, speakers, sponsors. So yeah, we will be at Consensus this year. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We have
wow.
Yeah, when you can bring that many people together into one space.
And I bet other people know how to do more than just push all the buttons at once. Like,
I kind of don't want to play against other people.
Yeah,
like
they're
playing,
be really good.
You and I playing against each other feels good because I know that like we're equals, which maybe shouldn't be the case, but
No! No, you've discovered the trick.
Yeah, sorry, I've been holding back the entire time.
I'm dead. I'm telling you, it's this character, this Katarina character you're really good with.
Well, you know what it is, like anyone who can fight in 4-inch heels deserves like a medal.
Award, an Olympic award.
Here we go. Here we go.
No, no.
Because Doc AV's yelling at me and saying we gotta get off.
I was this close to actually winning.
All right, Lee. What are your closing thoughts for this week's episode of Crypto Controller?
I actually think this week was a really good week for crypto adoption. We saw the entire community get together to make a point about what they expect of ethics from leading companies in the space. We've seen companies around the world able to utilize the global network in order to continue serving users, real users, at slow and stable growth. And in general, we've just seen the price continue to stay relatively high and stable. So this week has been a good week for crypto.
It's been a very good week for crypto. I'm very curious to see how Coinbase reacts over the next few days. I very much expect you to get a call from that PR person at some point.
Coinbase's PR team is exemplary. They're amazing. I love them, and I will look forward to working with them when I get that call back. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, like I said, we will be here next Tuesday, every Tuesday and Friday, and at Consensus on May 13th through the 15th here in New York City. We'll be playing Crypto Controller, taking your questions. So, like always, thank you so much for watching the show. Hit that subscribe button up top, or like, or heart, or whatever these Twitch people like to call it.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
Take care, guys.